The Mysterious Village. A decade of waiting.
Once upon a time, about 10 years ago, I lived in a hot city. I wanted to see something different, so I decided to go to the countryside. I wanted to see green trees and take a walk in the woods. I had a small red car and a map. I drove all night to reach the countryside. It was summer, and the weather was lovely as the sun rose. The countryside looked beautiful. The sky was blue, and the birds were chirping. But suddenly, my car stopped. I realized it was out of petrol. I needed to find a town to get some petrol, but I didn't know where I was on the map. I was lost. Then I saw a man walking down the road with flowers in his hand. He looked friendly, so I asked him for help. He smiled and asked me to follow him to his village. We walked a long way, and finally we reached a small, old village. The houses were quaint, and there were lots of animals around. The man invited me into his house, where I met his family. They were kind people, but their clothes were old-fashioned. They offered me some food and drink, but it tasted strange. I wondered why they didn't use modern things like cars. I spent the day in the village, and a man named Billy showed me around. We talked and laughed, and I started to like him, but later, Billy seemed sad and told me I had to leave. He said it was dangerous for me to stay. So, reluctantly, I left the village and walked until I found a town. But when I asked about the village, people looked at me strangely. They said there was no village there, and that it had burned down many years ago. I couldn't believe it. I remember everything so clearly. Was it all just a dream? I felt confused and sad. I wished I could see Billy again. And then I remembered something strange. The villagers had mentioned that the village appeared once every 10 years. I decided to wait for 10 years to see if the village would reappear. Maybe then I could find Billy again and solve the mystery of the disappearing village. Waiting for 10 long years. As I made my way back to the countryside, memories of my previous visit flooded my mind. I couldn't shake the feeling of unease mixed with anticipation. Would the village really reappear? Or was it all just a figment of my imagination? As I reached the familiar landscape, I noticed something different in the air. There was an electric buzz, a sense of anticipation, as if the very earth was holding its breath in anticipation of something extraordinary. And then, as if on cue, I saw it, the outline of the village emerging from the mist. It was surreal, like stepping into a dream. The quaint houses, the chirping birds, everything was just as I remembered it, with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. I ventured into the village once more. As I walked through the cobblestone streets, memories flooded back: the warmth of Billy's family, the strange taste of the food, and the enigmatic aura that surrounded the entire place. But amidst the nostalgia, one thought consumed my mind: finding Billy. I searched every corner of the village, calling out his name, hoping for a glimpse of his familiar face. And then, just as I was about to give up hope, I saw him standing in front of his old house, just as I remembered him. Relief washed over me as I ran towards him, eager to finally unravel the mysteries of the disappearing village. As Billy and I embraced, he greeted me with a smile that held 1,000 untold stories. And in that moment, I knew that the journey was far from over, that with Billy by my side, I was ready to uncover the secrets of the village and embark on a new adventure.